While exploring Mos Espa in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, you may encounter a rather peculiar acting protocol droid. At first, you may brush it off as weird, but okay. However, when you look at the story behind this droid, the encounter becomes much more sinister. That being said, it's still LEGO Star Wars, and it's played off pretty quickly. However, in today's video, we are going to be exploring the creepy story of Nobot. Welcome to a new playlist of mine where hopefully we will be exploring the creepy mysteries in video games. Not specific to any franchise, just the mysteries in games that I don't go too in depth on besides. Because I like making this kind of content. I have a massive playlist for mysteries dedicated to Red Dead Redemption, and that went down a treat. So why not do a general playlist as well, to cover some of those one-off mysteries in games that don't ordinarily have many. And so naturally, when I heard about this creepy encounter in what is a kids game, that I myself had encountered without realising what I'd exactly stumbled upon, I just knew I had to investigate. For those who are unfamiliar, Mos Espa is where you visit in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga during Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Much like in the movie, this is where we encounter child Anakin Skywalker. Whilst exploring the streets of Mos Espa, we may encounter a silver protocol droid carrying a kyber brick into a house. At first, this may seem like the prompt for an ordinary collectible grab, and yes, it is. However, if we follow the droid into the house, we get this creepy encounter. After this, the droid runs into this room and then vanishes. Collecting the kyber brick from the house shouldn't be a problem, however that's not what's important here. Before the droid disappears, it stares at us and creepy music plays. And then, like I said, it runs off and disappears, like it's a ghost. So what is the story behind this ominous ghost droid? As it turns out, this ghost droid is Nobot, a silver-plated protocol droid that shows up in Mos Espa spaceport very briefly during the movie Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace. There is a backstory there, but before we get to it, we should see what backstory LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga provides. The side mission itself is called Ghost Protocol, and can be found at this location on the map. The description for the quest, which disappears when you finish it, so I had to Google it, so apologies, states that he wandered the streets of Mos Espa aimlessly, with no one knowing why he was there. It also tells us that the only thing that was known for certain is that there was something not quite right about Nobot. If you make your way into the back room of this haunted house, you will find Nobot disassembled, his eyes still glowing, and along with him, you will find the kyber brick. Collecting it concludes the quest. Now, according to the no longer canon Star Wars legends, the ghost droid was known to wander aimlessly around Mos Espa, even sometimes roaming the sands of Tatooine besides, and despite the relentless unforgiving heat and the presence of Jawas that would strip it for parts or try to take it and sell it on, Nobot would always find its way back to Mos Espa. According to the Mos Espa marketplace vendor Jira, Nobot had been the only surviving witness to a murder of a young pregnant woman, and apparently Nobot had initially been seen in Mos Espa decades ago, scorched from blaster fire and absolutely covered in blood. The communications module in the droid was allegedly known to play back the recording of a murder, with the audio of the victim screaming and pleading for her life. The sounds were followed by static, and the recordings would play again. Its serial number was filed off, therefore identifying the droid was impossible, hence the name Nobot, I imagine. Many believe the protocol droid himself was the killer in Jira's tale, and some rumours even claimed that this ghost protocol droid was surrounded by evil spirits, or even the dark side of the Force. Although all of this speculation paints a dark picture, the only thing that's known for sure about this droid is that it would return no matter what adversity it faced. If taken out far into the desert and left behind, the droid would find its way back to Mos Espa. If Tusken Raiders utilised the droid for target practice, they would find their weapons backfiring or jamming. The scorching desert heat of Tatooine appeared to have no bearing on the droid's function, almost as if something supernatural is protecting the droid. Well, maybe not supernatural for Star Wars standards, anything could happen, but as of 32 BBY, the events of The Phantom Menace, Nobot was still wandering around Mos Espa, devoid of any purpose whatsoever. And that's of course how we encounter the LEGO Star Wars version of this Ghost Protocol droid, in a spooky encounter that clearly references the rumoured ominous backstory to Nobot. The droid appears harmless, doesn't seem to want us dead, but maybe it did kill that woman in that rumoured recording. Obviously, the events of LEGO Star Wars are not canon to ordinary Star Wars, nor is Legends anymore, at least until somebody says otherwise. So in regular Star Wars canon, this protocol droid is little more than just a background character, an extra. But in the LEGO Star Wars version of events, it is clearly something that could be related to, or could just be something much more sinister. Now I suppose it's time that I tell you what I think. It's clear that in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga there is something that the game wants to make you feel uneasy about when encountering Nobot, and with the legend of the ghost droid that allegedly killed a pregnant woman in Star Wars Legends, only to wander the streets of Mos Espa on Tatooine after the fact, it's very clear what this encounter is a reference to. And so in the LEGO Star Wars version of events, at the very least, I am inclined to say that something definitely did happen in this droid's past that has turned it into a creepy bastard. There's no nice way to put it. And considering it's a parody game based on LEGO toys of the film, I'd imagine that in itself is a nod to Jira's tale. Or is it Jira and I sound stupid pronouncing a name wrong? Maybe we'll just call her Bill. Putting fucked up references in kids' content is practically a rite of passage for games like this, so I would not be surprised if this droid is a murderer. Beyond that, there's no point diving into speculation. LEGO Star Wars is meant to give you the passing nod of things, so it spooks you and then you move on. At the very least in this instance, but it was a very unexpected tone shift from the upbeat, silly, funny game. But it was a nice opener to this hopeful series in which we explore creepy game mysteries. I know I'm not very creative with titling, that doesn't tend to serve me very well in the YouTube algorithm for one, but hopefully we will add to this playlist over time as we explore even more creepy encounters, mysteries and Easter eggs in various different games, and if you have any suggestions, please don't hesitate to let me know. But of course, that concludes today's video on the ghost droid of Mos Espa. So, thank you all for watching this video. I hope that you've enjoyed. Or shat yourself. You could do both, I'm not fussy. Please be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff. That would be super fantastic. And with any luck, hopefully, I'll be seeing you all very soon with another video at some point. But until next time, please take care, and remember, if you see any creepy droids on your adventures, give them the good old left-right goodnight. Knock them out. See you next time, guys. Goodbye.